X amount, no time, no waste. Niggas your squad, but they weak as fuck. Pass me the aux, blow speakers up.
I am Diamond B. Frazier, the host of the Kickback DMV. We are at Pass the aux with Becca.
Hey, y'all.
So just recently, as in like 2 seconds ago before the camera was rolling, I was talking to her about her project, Passenger Princess, which I'm excited about. I've never heard your music before. I'm not familiar with your vibe, but your energy is just so beautiful. The cover art is on point, and I can't wait to hear it. So for those that haven't got a chance yet, what vibe are we getting from that project?
All right, so on this project, I would definitely classify it as probably like an Afrofusion. It has some elements of like house dance. It has some elements of pop, a little bit of R&B in there, but I am like of African like origin, so you know, like that's the market that like I try to tap in with the most. But because like I'm such a music person, like I'm really passionate about music, so I can do pretty much any genre. So my sound is really unique. I just blended a whole bunch of genres together. But as far as classification wise, on paper, Afrofusion.
Okay.
Yeah,
it is kind of hard to put yourself in a box when you are a versatile artist. So just for clarity, on the project, we're getting all your vibes.
Not even all of them. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of taste of something, like a little bit of what I can do.
Okay, I'm excited. So are you performing any of those songs tonight?
I actually am. I'm performing the first 2 songs on the EP, Like That and Bring It Back.
Just off of the titles, I'm like, well, I want to hear that. All right, so on your Instagram, you actually have a scripture, 1 Peter 4, verse 8, and that is, and above all things, have fervent charity among yourself, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. Can you explain the scripture and how it was so important to actually put in your bio on Instagram?
Mm-hmm. So basically, in some other translations of the Bible, they replaced the word charity with love, and I feel like that's kind of like what drives me and what pushes me, just leading with love. I feel like I would classify myself like as a Christian, but I'm not the perfect Christian. Obviously, like I make secular music. I'm like, you know, I'm very like open about like how much of like an actual human that I am. But I know that like when I walk into a room, I'm set apart because, you know, I just lead with love, just put love into everything that I do.
I love that. And that is important. And sometimes when you do classify yourself as a Christian, people put a lot of pressure on you to embody this thing and to be perfect. But we are imperfect humans. So that was nice of you to be real and honest about that. Of course, one of the captions I believe that you put on your picture, I think someone might have passed that was close to you, and you said, "You got me singing in church again and getting even closer to God." What may have originally drove you away from God, and how did you find your way back?
I just feel like I live and work in a very worldly and very like just industry that's not close to God, as how I perceive it. So with that being said, like I feel like sometimes as humans, like we all like fall short and stuff, but we tend to like normalize like certain things, maybe because like that's where we work and that's how we make our money, or like these are like the types of people that we're around and like we've grown to know and love, certain things like that. But I feel like that was like a wake up call for me, and it definitely helped me set like some boundaries as far as like my spiritual journey, because I was seeing that like if I'm super complacent in like with like what's going on and saying like, oh, like this is just how things are, but I'm saying that I believe something specific and it doesn't match, then I'm not being fair. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's real. Before we go, can you give advice to someone who is battling between indulging in their worldly desires and following what God has us, you know, following God's plan?
Yeah. I would say it's very much relative to you and how much you want your relationship, your spiritual relationship with God or whatever, to grow. Like, You shouldn't let anybody else influence what your walk with God is. If you are spiritual, if you're not, kudos to you. I love everybody and respect everyone. But I feel like that's just the main thing. Like, you have to be at the forefront of what your relationship with God will look like. And when you start to do that, like, everything will sort of like fall into place. You will have a lot more self-discipline, and it will just be, you know, things will start to make sense.
I like that. I appreciate you sharing that today. I thoroughly enjoy learning about the artist behind the art. So I'm excited about your project drop, you performing. She don't make gospel music, but that don't mean she ain't got a relationship with God.
Not perfect. Okay.
We're not expecting that from you, but I appreciate your time today. I'm Diamond B. Frazier, and this is
Becca.
And you are tuned in to Pass the Aux.